Ski Mom Self-Care Series is brought to you by Vrbo. Check out vrbo.com for trusted, family-friendly getaways and plan a stay everyone will love.
All right, today we are thrilled to welcome Karin Sloan. She's a wellness and nutrition expert. She's a multifaceted businesswoman, and most importantly, she's a ski mom. With a BA from Tufts and an MBA from NYU, she's packed quite a bit in terms of a business life. She's had a successful career in consulting. She's been an entrepreneur. She actually started, built, and sold a successful business and then went on to run the division of the company that she sold her business to. But she didn't stop there. With a true passion for wellness and nutrition, she went on to earn a degree in holistic nutrition from the American College of Healthcare Sciences. During the pandemic, she created an online wellness curriculum for middle school students while they were stuck at home during the pandemic. She's still doing that, and she is also has private clients, quite a big private client practice as well. Welcome, Karin. We're so excited to learn from you and cut through the clutter and find out what we really need. I thought we would start broad and then dial down into actual nutrition on the health. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. I love this topic. It's one of my favorite topics. As moms, we are in charge of so many things. Like we are in charge of being the sergeant of the house, the psychologist, the housekeeper, the travel agent, so many things. But it feels like the number one job that we have is related to food, right? It's the thing that we talk about the most. It's the thing, it feels like it's the thing that people talk to me about the most in my house. Everyone's always hungry. And we spend so much of our time, whether it's food planning, food shopping, food preparing, cleaning up, packing up those snacks that then come home and not eaten. And then we have to interview our kids as to why they're not eating them. So food is so important to us as moms, and it well should be, because food is fuel. I mean, we can live without many things, but without food and water, we'll perish. And what we eat makes a huge difference in our mental state, in our physical state, in our general success and happiness. So this is a topic that's near and dear to me. And like Nicole said, it's so overwhelming these days. There's so much information. Our poor kids. I mean, the way we grew up, it was already hard enough with newspapers and radio and television. Yes, there was television. But these days with social media, so much is coming at us and we don't even know what the sources are, whether they're legitimate, like what their intent is. So I'm here to make it easier for everyone. There are some overarching premises, some big ideas that can really make it easy for moms to make sure that they're feeding themselves and their family the right food. So I'm excited to share that with you guys.
Great. We can't wait to hear all about that. So let's start with the question that we've been asking all of our guests, our experts throughout this self-care series. So self-care can look different for everybody. So we'd love to know, what does self-care look like to you, and how do you personally incorporate it into your own life?
Okay, great question. And I love the topic anyway, because we have to make sure that we are incorporating self-care as moms. We do such a good job of taking care of our kids, but we have to take care of ourselves as well. So for me, it's the trifecta of mindfulness, like how I'm thinking, how I'm breathing, movement. I know you guys had a great session last week, which I watched, about movement, and nutrition. Those are really the trifecta of things that I think about when I worry about my overall self-care, and they really do work together. So, you think of mindfulness as, calming yourself down, deep breaths. When you can think clearly and when you're breathing right, then you're calm. When you're calm, you digest your food better. So it's important to stay calm, to eat well, because we have our brain up here, but we also have our brain with our stomach. Now, when we feel stressed, what we should be doing, and I just saw this when I went to a Lululemon store and I loved it. So I sent a picture to my kids. Feeling stressed, go work out. Feeling tired, go work out. Feeling sad, go work out. Movement is also medicine. I truly believe in movement. I make sure to move every single day. Movement helps us digest our food. Movement gives us the inspiration actually then to eat right, because I find that I'll go for a long run and I'll say to myself, I'm going to run a really long run, and then I'm going to run over to get like a shake. But when I'm done with that run, I don't want to have a milkshake. I want to have a smoothie, because I've already started doing the right thing for myself. So for me, self-care is really those three pieces: the nutrition, the movement, and the mindfulness working together. But of course, the priority, I think the most important piece, is the nutrition.
Right. Okay, so focusing in now specifically on nutrition, what would you say are the three most valuable tips that you would give when it comes to incorporating better nutrition into our everyday lives, both for ourselves and especially for our kids?
Right. Um, and it's so hard because there's so much information out there. But as I was mentioning before, I feel like I can break it down to like three buckets that'll make a huge difference this is how I think. So my first advice is going to be really simple and easy. Every morning, I want you to take a glass of lukewarm water and squeeze in a half a lemon per person. Super easy. Everyone can do it. Everybody can buy lemons. I don't care if they're organic or not. Ideally, you're having this a half an hour before you eat food to like really let it do its magic. But if you can't, that's fine. We're all busy rushing around. It's still going to be super beneficial if you just have that glass of water. And there's like 20 different reasons why that's good for you. I mean, you can imagine right away, most of us are dehydrated. Most people are walking around pretty dehydrated. And it's because we're not drinking enough, we're not drinking often enough. But it's also true that when you add lemon or other fruits and vegetables too, it helps your body absorb the hydration better. So the lemon does that trick right away of the hydration. It's also tremendous antioxidant. It's tremendous for your immune system, the vitamin C to keep you healthy, to fight off disease. It makes you more alkaline. So the pH balance is such a place where it's not beneficial for disease to grow. It helps with it's got the pectin fiber, so it helps with your digestion, your bowel movements. There's so many reasons. I don't want to go on and on because I think part of what I want to impress upon you all is that you don't need to get a nutrition degree and you don't need to know exactly what the lemon does and what the orange does. You just need to have these basic ideas. So have that glass of water with lemon and feel amazing about it. The other point of the glass with the lemon too, though, is it is the psychology piece. You've woken up in the morning and you've done something right. You guys have maybe heard this idea of making your bed in the morning, because if you tell your kids, make your bed in the morning, because then you've done something, you've done one thing that you can be proud of. You accomplished a task. And so if nothing else goes right the rest of the day, you're going to come home and see that your bed was made. It's sort of like that, and you did something successful. It's sort of that idea of like you have that glass of water with lemon, you've done something right, you've been a good citizen. And it starts the momentum, right? Like momentum is key. And now you feel like eating, right? Now you feel like going for a run, now you feel like taking your deep breaths. So it sets the tone for the rest of the day. So that's one. The second overarching idea is eat real food, like eat from the earth. And you've probably heard the idea of eat whole foods, but just to really explain why people are animals who come from the earth. It's really interesting to study nutrition, and the human body is amazing. We don't fully understand everything about the human body, how it takes, we're still discovering minerals and nutrients that we have that we didn't know about. So it's really hard to know exactly what each person should have, like how much of each thing. But what we do know is if you eat directly from the earth, you're feeding your body what it needs and not what it doesn't. And what's happened over the years, the Industrial Revolution, the progress, which has been great in many ways, has also taken us away from food and more to like scientifically food that's made in the factory that's then altered, processed. And when you alter food, you're doing two things. You're often losing, you're always losing a lot of the nutrients and the minerals. They dissipate, they get taken out. And I'll give you a good example in a second, but also you're introducing potential things that are not good for your body, hazards, toxins. So the more, you have a choice between giving your child applesauce or an apple, always reach for that apple. If you have the choice of like grilling your salmon versus sauteing it in a bunch of sauces, grill the salmon. Like the more whole something is, the less you're adding to it, the better off you are. And I have this book that I do want to share. It was one of my favorite books that I studied in, I think it was in nutrition school. It's called In Defense of Food by Michael Pollan. And basically he's like, I give it away in the first chapter, and he has like these 7 words is his guideline. It says, eat food, not too much, mostly plants. And because you go to the supermarket, don't go in the middle, go in the periphery, fruits, vegetables, fish, chicken, nuts. And there are lots of great combinations you can make. You can roast food, you can make salads. Fajita night's one of my favorite things, but it's easier to cook that way. It's less overwhelming. You buy less ingredients, and that's a really strong way of keeping up your health. The last piece of it that I just want to say that I want to add that's important is while you're shopping and thinking about the whole foods, shop the rainbow. That's the other really strong point, because if you shop the rainbow, you're making sure you're buying the reds and the greens and some, the red apple, the green broccoli, the purple eggplant. when you do that, you make sure you're getting all the different nutrients and phytochemicals. What I really, really want you guys to do, the most important thing is read labels to make sure you know what you're getting. And so here I have the bread. And when you buy bread, you want to make sure that you're having whole wheat. If you just bought bread and you looked at the front of it, it might say healthy, it might be brown, it might say organic, it might say all these amazing things, but you can turn it around and do this as an experiment. You go to the store, many breads have enriched flour. Enriched flour is not great because you've stripped all the nutrients out and then they add it back in. That's why it's called enriched. Enriched seems like just really tricky. I love explaining this to the kids because enriched sounds like a good word, but it's not, because it means they took out the nutrients and then added them back in. So read labels to look for basic ingredients, like we just said, not enriched but whole, and foods that you can pronounce. Try to minimize your preservatives and all those other things. If you follow those 3 guidelines, you're going to be on a road to choosing very healthy foods.
Focus on. So I would love right now to talk specifically about ski day nutrition. Let's bring it onto the slopes. So how can we make sure that we're fueling ourselves and our family, our kids, with the right foods to set ourselves up for success with energy and to make it through the whole day, through the whole ski day without those slumps and crashes? What would you say?
As I talked about in defensive food and how I said eat food, but not too much, the caveat is that as ski moms, we get a bonus, at least 500 calories. And when you're out in the slopes, you lose a lot of water, you lose a lot of iron, you really do need to fuel. The first, of course, is breakfast. What should you have for breakfast? And you want something that's going to be like slow burn, long lasting. So you mentioned it too, like you want your carbohydrates, you want your complex carbohydrates, your whole wheat carbohydrates that will release slowly. And you want to pair that with a protein. That's really important. So like some good examples of a go-to breakfast, and I'm thinking of things that you can do at home, but a lot of us are traveling when we're skiing, right? So I'm gonna keep it like easy stuff to pack. Now I travel with my Yeti, it's my bestie food, but I try to minimize what I have to bring. And so if you pack a few things, whole wheat bread, oatmeal, if you have a kitchen, you can do eggs, avocado, and nuts, and then olive oil. That's like a basis for a lot of good meals. So you could do whole wheat bread. So you've got your carbs with avocado, your healthy fat, and an egg. That's an awesome breakfast. Always add a fruit and try to give me different colors. So maybe some blueberries and strawberries one morning, cantaloupe another, mango the third day. Another great breakfast, like I know a lot of people ask about oatmeal. Is it healthy? Is it not healthy? Oatmeal is so easy and it's great. It is a nice option. Just make sure to beef it up a little, so to say, and add your pepitas, like your nuts, your walnuts, add bananas and strawberries for the fruit so that you have the carb and the protein, the nuts, and then also like the nutrients from the fruits and vegetables. You could also in advance bake your own maybe banana walnut muffins, something that's like easy grab and go. But as long as you're pairing, I like that if you can eat nuts, I love the idea of pairing a nut with the carbohydrate to start your day. And then packing snacks, because you're right. Oh, and then coffee. Listen, we discussed this earlier. I'm not leaving the house without coffee. I have 2 coffee makers in case one breaks down. But if you're going to have your coffee, I would say a little tip, put in coconut oil or a little butter because it helps it releases the caffeine slower into your system. But caffeine is okay. And coffee has antioxidants. It can be good for you. Or if you're a green tea drinker, even better. Pack the snacks because we need like that constant fuel. We don't want to crash, like you said. So easy to carry. A nut mix. And like if you have younger kids, one of the ideas that's really important is to get the buy-in to let them choose. So you can have like a little nut bar and they can make their bag and and also this way, hopefully you're varying it up, but maybe sometimes it's walnuts and sometimes it's almonds and sometimes it's peanuts, and you can make it fun by putting in some little chocolate, dark chocolate morsels or dried cherries, like a little sweetness in there. But a nut mix is always good. I love a healthy bar. Be really careful with the bars. I really don't like the fake whey and the fake proteins. Those are awful for your body. That your body does not want to digest those. And then making a little sandwich on the go, and whether the sandwich has the cheddar cheese is particularly good for you, and turkey, or if it's hard-boiled eggs are amazing. So if we're traveling and we can't like fry our egg, pre-hard boil your eggs and pack them with you. They can be breakfast, they can be snack, they can be in a sandwich with lettuce and tomato. And then when you do your nut butter, mix it up. Like sometimes your kids might be obsessed with peanut butter, but try like a nice almond butter, Pre or post smoothies are an amazing way of getting nutrients that maybe people don't want to eat on their own. If someone doesn't want to eat a salad, you can get it into their smoothie. Like spinach is really subtle in the smoothie. So I always like to start with banana as a base. It's like a nice consistency to it. And then from there, there are all different kinds of smoothies that you can make, but you could do banana, mango, spinach, and orange juice. That would be a sweet one, and that would have a lot of good nutrients. For a little bit more sticking with you, I would do like a nut butter in there as well. So my daughter came up with a really nice one that she found in a restaurant. So it was dates, walnuts, bananas, and then a milk that's either we do like a pistachio milk or a hemp milk or one of those. And then sometimes a little honey for sweetness with the banana. So it's sweet, but it really sticks with you because it's got the nuts. So smoothies are also a really nice way to get your nutrients in a fun format.
Wow. I'm always sort of at a loss. I go to the oatmeal or just dry cereal, but this gives us so much to go on for ski day nutrition. And my next question was going to be about snacks, but you definitely just covered that as well, all the different things that we can carry with us. How about water, though? Hydrating or taking a break? And how much water should we be consuming throughout the day also to sustain our energy?
I literally, my car, I don't know how this happened, but my car will say, make sure your kids bring their water. I'm obsessed with water. It's like really the most important thing you could do throughout the day to make yourself feel better and make sure you have the right energy. Most people are dehydrated. So it's hard to carry water on you. So you have to take breaks. And really, you're better off taking sips throughout the day, but when you're skiing, that's hard. So 8 to 10 glasses of water a day is like the guideline. I mean, if you're skiing, I would bump it to 10 to 12 because, we do lose more hydration when we're skiing. You want to pre-hydrate as much as you can. So like even the night before, you want to drink a lot of water or be hydrated. And that morning, you want to have your glass of water with lemon and before you ski. And you need to take your breaks and have that water. You have juice, you can have coconut water actually is super hydrating too. And that's like a fun one for the kids if they don't want to just drink plain water. Sometimes it's hard to drink cold water when you're skiing if it's a really cold day. So you bring your tea bag. I love green tea. Green tea is amazing for you, but like that could be a little dehydrating. So maybe you're taking like a chamomile tea with you or whatever you like. It has to be, food should be joyous. Do not eat anything you don't like. You should never be suffering when you're eating because there's so many delicious foods that are good for you, like that don't suffer. You hate kale, don't eat kale. Maybe sneak into your smoothie, or don't eat it all. Like if you'll find foods, maybe you're sauteing it and it tastes better for you. You'll find foods that you like that are good for you and only eat those. Like it should never be suffering. Food should be ceremonious. It's how we gather. It's how we celebrate our culture. It should be a positive.
I feel like that mindset is so important when we have that long awaited ski vacation and we are looking forward to it. And we know we're supposed to be eating healthy, but sometimes you want to splurge and lighten up and loosen up a little bit on, you just want to be healthy-ish, let's say.
Yeah.
What would you say to that? Like as far as the overall mindset, I think you really kind of just said it, but would you add anything to that as far as, it's okay to have that beer. It's okay to maybe if you have the hot cocoa, what type of cocoa or how could we doctor that up to make it healthier in a ski lodge?
First of all, you should always have treats. You should never feel deprived. I also find that if I keep some treats around and I just know they're there, sometimes I don't even eat them. I just know I didn't deprive myself. So I'm happy that they're there. So one is, yes, have treats. And if you see something on the menu and it's calling to you, just have it and have it and enjoy it. And then don't complain afterwards. Like that was your moment. But there are choices that you can make too. There are lots of really healthy things that are really delicious. So you're right. You can buy a hot chocolate that's healthier. It's dark chocolate. It has just cane sugar, like no other preservatives or other sugars in there. One of my favorites, and this is actually one of my best friends, and so she created these Chloe bars. My family is obsessed with them. This is the only one that I have here because they ate all the other ones, but they come in raspberry and mango. There's a really fun one that's like strawberry and then dark chocolate covered. There's like oat milk if you want a creamier version. There are very few ingredients in here, and this is downright good for you because the first ingredient is raspberry puree. So this is a treat that you're having. Your kids will find this to be a treat, but it's good for you. Another one that I love is almonds with dark chocolate. So any nut with like a dark chocolate, like you're having the chocolate, but then you've got the nuts. It's so satisfying and crunchy and delicious. So that's always a good one.
Do you mind if we stop and answer some questions from our listeners?
Basic water is going to be more hydrating, but I think seltzers are really fun. And I know my kids are more likely to drink water if I offer them seltzer sometimes. You can make your own seltzer, by the way, too. And I often offer them the idea of like seltzer with juice. So that's the other thing is like seltzer is a good one. Kids are obsessed with juice. You don't want them to have too much juice. So combining some of the juice that they love and with the seltzer is like a nice way of getting them not to drink so much juice. So number one, I prefer water, but seltzer is a good option to make it more fun. And it's also a good one to take down the amount of sugar they're drinking when they want to just have fruit juice. We're tempted to drink water when we are eating because that's what we're kind of most of us are used to doing, and it may make it more comfortable to chew. And it's okay to have sips of water, of course. We're not going to dehydrate ourselves while we're eating, but it's better to have most of the water not with your food so that when you're eating, you're letting the natural enzymes do their job. And it's really nice to hydrate on it, like, and to let the hydration flow through without food in the way. So it's a good idea to separate the two as much as you can.
All right. This is a fun thing we love to do in every self-care session. So Karin, are you ready?
Ready?
These are all related to ski day. Okay, here we go. Hot cocoa or coffee to warm up?
Coffee.
Okay. Yogurt parfait or chia pudding for a quick protein hit?
Yogurt parfait.
Nut butter smoothie or oatmeal for a filling breakfast?
Nut butter smoothie.
Okay. Cafeteria or bag of lunch? I think I know what you're going to say. Yeah, of course.
And all of these I have caveats, but I'm giving you an answer.
Right. I love it. That's the point. Okay. And then a cocktail. I want to know the answer to this. Cocktail or a beer for après?
Well, beer, because beer actually has benefits. I guess a
Yes.
cocktail could too. So, but like beer actually has like prebiotics in it.
You had said when we were talking a little trick with drinking beer. Did you say balance it out with a glass of water per beer? Is that what you said?
Yes, that's a very good point because it is dehydrating when you drink. So
Mhm.
yeah, have your beer and have your glass of water, and then you're getting the benefits without any of the problematic
And
implications.
you could probably transfer that to a cocktail or a glass of wine, have a glass of water as well, especially after a long day in the slopes when you've lost so much, fluid and dehydration and all of that. So that's it for our speed round. Karin, thank you so much. This has been so enlightening, and especially in light of the fact that we're all ski moms and we all have kids that are out there. So thank you so much.
It was my
Great.
pleasure. You guys are amazing. I love watching what you do. What you bring to the community is so invaluable. So I'm so happy to take part. Thank you for all that you do.
Are you starting to dream about hot cocoa, snowy chairlift rides, and zipping down perfectly groomed trails? Well, so are we. And that's why we're teaming up with Vrbo this winter. If you're like us, you're always in planning mode and trying to maximize the fun on your family ski vacations. Vrbo's got you covered with private vacation rentals designed for families and friends. Here's why we love Vrbo. First up, space. Our family loves to spread out when we travel, and we all know how much stuff a ski trip involves. Vrbo has a huge selection of quality homes, often with 3 or more bedrooms, so everyone can spread out comfortably, and there's room for all your gear. Vrbo properties offer exclusive homes with amazing views of the mountains, and many with ski-in, ski-out, slopeside access. Oh, and have we mentioned privacy? With Vrbo, you'll always get a private vacation rental, meaning no awkward host encounters or shared spaces. It's all yours. Ready for your next adventure? Download the Vrbo app or check out vrbo.com for trusted, family-friendly getaways and plan a stay everyone will love.